This week was a perfect snapshot of America's political mess. CNN, the exhausting view of this bizarre week with the first GOP presidential primary debate one day, followed by the fourth arrest this year of the former president the next, is that everyone should prepare for so much more of this uniquely American and continuously unbelievable political spectacle. This will be impossible to look away. The atmospherics are distracting. The former President Donald Trump's stone-faced mugshot and the televised motor- motorcade of his trip to court painted his arrest Thursday at the Fulton Fulton County Jail in Atlanta with the reality TV theoretical theatricality. They also drove home that Trump, like every other American, must ultimately submit to the law, in this case, in relation to charges against him for his effort to overturn the 2020 election. His return to the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, in order to defiantly share the mugshot suggests he's reclaiming the weapons of misinformation he utilized during his last failed campaign, which ended in loss and inspired an insurrection. Questions about whether his weight was misrepresented on booking document 215 pounds for his 6 foot 3 inches frame is a reminder that disputed small details take on the feeling of importance when Trump is involved. The competition can't find its footing. If there is any doubt that 2024 could ultimately rematch Trump with President Joe Biden, not the Republican debate that could have anointed a legitimate GOP challenger to Trump may instead have elevated Vivek Rams Ramaswamy, the outsider and the upstart who is modeling himself as Trump's political heir. The other acknowledged standout at the debate, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, has not yet broken double digits in polling. Stay tuned to see if an anti-Trump sentiment courses around her or anyone else. The deeper questions are essential. The mugshot is cover image for the four trials played out in a courtroom up and down the East Coast, which will see Trump tried for what he did to get elected in 2016. The Manhattan District Attorney's charges related to hush money scheme, his treatment of the nation's secret special counsel Jack Smith's classified document case in Florida, and most importantly, whether he tried to subvert the democracy he swore to protect in 2020. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis case in Georgia and Smith's in Washington, D.C. This is ugly, but the alternative is worse. If the world is indeed locked in the struggle between democracies and autocracies, as Biden often asserts, then it is hard not to compare Trump's coming trials and the coming American election with the other most sensational worldwide story of the week. In the US, the former president and the leader of the free world surrendered to the county prosecutor to answer charges he masterminded a conspiracy to overturn the 2020 election. In Russia, on one time, mutineer against the country's strongman leader tumbled to earth in the mysterious and fiery plane crash. Unlike in Russia, where the political rivals of President Vladimir Putin are routinely stripped of their right and shipped off to prison camp in the US, we can expect juries to stand in judgment of Trump and his alleged co-conspirators. It will continue to be exhausting. There will be numerous subplot and mini dramas in the months to come. How to find the impartial juries, whether Trump's Georgia case should be moved to federal court or separated from his alleged co-conspirators, and just how speedy any of these trials should occur are guaranteed storylines. But ultimately, just as he was forced to submit to a mugshot, Trump will have to submit to the fact that juries of his peers, American citizens, will decide these trials of the country. Trump will argue persecution as always. He is also perfectly within his right to repeat his years long mantra that this is all part of a witch hunt. Assuming he can continue to motivate Republican voters with his campaign of retribution and hang on to his top spot in the GOP to become the party's presidential nominee for the third straight time, then a much larger jury pool of sort every American voters will get their say about that claim. And that brings up another, perhaps more inspiring view of this very wild week, which is that the democratic system that has lasted and evolved over 200 plus years is going to stand up for itself. The rhetoric is getting worse. Do you want us to be in civil war? Because that's what's going to happen. Former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin said during a Thursday appearance on Newsmax. This each far from the mainstream view, and Trump's multiple arrests have so far yielded little in the way of mass protest. But there is clearly a new openness on the right to using the language of war in terms of taking the country back. The fact is that none of these things are set. Trump remains innocent until proven guilty. He could win acquittal in any or all four of the trials in which he is independent. Republican voters could well choose someone else. The primary won't get underway until early next year, at which time the majority of Republicans who would rather see someone other than Trump as their nominee may have found an alternative. He's competitive against Biden. Many Republicans fear Trump would be easier for Biden to beat than the candidate without Trump's baggage. But the current polling suggests the next presidential election will be as close as the last one.